Hello, good evening. This is the daily dua for people oppressed around the world and here enabled by our tax dollars. Palestine will be free. Today, I danced to the 21 Taras Dharani, chanted with beautiful Nyingma lineage visualizations. The 21 phrases to Tara, often chanted in Tibetan, are sacred, powerful, and activity-oriented. Devotees pray to the Tara with these praises, asking Tara to bring the 21 sacred activities into their lives, including auspiciousness, compassion, generosity, good fortune, healing, long life, magnetizing power to influence people positively. Now, this practice of dua is taking these Tibetan chants, which is how a lot of Buddhist chanting survives, in a time when we are thinking about people around the world and realizing that we are intimately connected in the violence that is shaping their lives. And so I invite us to think about what it means when we're asking for auspiciousness. How is this a moment of auspiciousness? How is it that after all this time, the rest of the world knows how this state operates? And we here are finally starting to see. There's something auspicious in that. Awareness, however late it comes, is very important and really, really sacred. It is an auspicious moment. It has been coming for many, many years over many, many people's movements. It comes, it seems like, in fits and starts. We realize something and then we get comfortable because that's how the state operates. And then the state starts taking away our rights and creates an environment where we don't think, we don't want to think. We don't have an opportunity to be critical and thinking. We're fed all kinds of propaganda and nonsense, right? So it is so auspicious that in this moment, the whole world is helping us here wake up. When we're asking in a Tibetan chant, when we're asking for compassion, what is it that we're asking for in this moment when we're witnessing a complete lack of compassion for the people who are holding so much power? What does that mean? When we are flooding the streets with compassion and we are not being heard, or it feels like we are not being heard. When does compassion become strength? When we're asking in these Tibetan chants, words like generosity, what are we asking for in this moment? Is it the generosity of us, or is it the generosity of people and people's movement and people's leaders and our community organizers who've been telling us and telling us and telling us, and we're finally seeing? What tremendous generosity when we meet people who live so differently from us, who are marginalized so much more than us. Maybe we are generous. Maybe we're practicing and reflecting back generosity when we take their experiences and don't turn away from them, when we take their experiences and make it our holy books. What is it that we're asking for when we're asking in these Tibetan chants, these Buddhist chants, when we're asking for good fortune? What are we asking for in this moment when it seems like there is absolutely no good fortune for so many people on the other side of the world? What are we asking for? Is it a good fortune that we're able to see finally Is that our good fortune? How is that sacred? What are we asking for when we're in these Buddhist chants asking for healing? It feels so important in this moment in time when we are so aware and we cannot look away, and we should not look away. We're being asked to bear witness in places where it doesn't look like there's any healing. There's no opportunity for healing. What does it mean to, when we're asking for healing, that we're asking ourselves to create a world which allows everyone to have space for healing? What are we asking for in these Buddhist mantras when we're asking for long life? What are we asking for in this moment when we're asking for a long life? When we're seeing children not being able to grow up, babies not being able to become children, adults not being able to grow up and take care of their children, elders not having a moment of peace in their life, in their long life, if they're able to have a long life at all. What are we asking for when we're asking for a long life? Are we asking for the strength to stand by the truth the rest of our lives? Is that the life that we're asking for? The longevity in this long arc, this longer arc that will lead to freedom. What are we asking for in these Buddhist chants when we're asking for the magnetizing power to influence people positively? What are we asking for? What are we asking for this influence in this moment? Are we asking for our ability to finally see and to put everything that we have, like every talent, every gift that we have, for people's freedoms? What are we asking for? The generosity of Indigenous people at every moment in our lives, people we don't even think about, people maybe now we're starting to think about. That generosity has been there, not just now, but the moment that they're being threatened by occupation. Hundreds, for some thousands of years. For the Palestinian people, thousands of years. What are we asking for? Welcome to the daily dua for people oppressed around the world and here, enabled by our tax dollars. Palestine will be free. Tonight, I'm going to be dancing to the 21 Dharani, Taras Dharani. So 21 praises to Tara. So I just kind of broke down what people typically ask of when they're thinking about and meditating. So I will start dancing now. I am late today. Generally, in about half the moment, I stop dancing and I start to share a warm-up and share some of the techniques in temple dance form that helps us get back into our bodies. Liberation is a long arc. When our friends are unable to breathe and mourn, we might hold space for them and gather our courage for the long fight ahead. Getting into our bodies daily is key. It is from where we speak, move, hold lines with clarity and resolution. The 21 Taras Dharani. I'm not sure if this is the one that I wanted. Apologies, I'm just trying to find the one that I want to dance to. No, I think that was it. Apologies for that. Today I had a interesting day. I think this is the one. Yes, this is the one. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so this is the daily dua, where we are thinking about and holding space for the terrible violence around the world and here that are enabled by our tax dollars. And right now it's the halfway point, so I get to share a warm-up and a little bit about the movement that's helping me stay in my body, and that I invite you to try, that I hope that helps you to stay in yours. I'm gonna turn on the light. Okay, so part of the long arc of liberation is having a practice or a couple or a few that we do every day that takes care of different elements for as long as we have the ability and the access to reach them. So nutrition, eating well, eating at all is important. Drinking water and staying hydrated is important. And related to that, the body. So making sure that the body is taken care of. And you could be like, yeah, but I have so many things to do. Yes. And there are humans who have a lot of things to do, and they're raising children, or they have animals that they have to take care of, or plants that they have to take care of. And so I encourage us to do that and carve some time for yourself as the child, for yourself as the pet that you need to take for a walk. And in that spirit, I am doing this daily dua right before bed, so we can have a way to get into our bodies, take out all the extra energy, so whatever chance we have at sleep is as good a chance as we're going to get for tonight. So a lot of people are like, what do you mean getting into your bodies? I'm in my body, right? Yes, and so our world is crafted in such a way that we think we are in our bodies. And this is why it's really, really important when we wonder like why people are just kind of like doing the thing in a moment of crisis. They're just doing the things that they normally do because they're like, oh, but I have to do the thing because these are the things that get me the other things. When you get into your body, it allows you to learn what your heart wants to do, and that will disrupt these patterns that we are in when this moment of crisis comes to our attention. Please note that this moment of crisis is around the world all the time, but this is a really special moment. This is an auspicious moment because all of us, all of a sudden, are seeing it for what it is, seeing the structures that are holding our lives together for what it is. And it's not a pretty thing. So it's a really difficult thing to reckon with. It's overwhelming, the amount of information we're getting. And that makes it really, really critical because the moment has changed. And so your pattern has to shift. If you are on autopilot, it does take care of certain things, but what does this crisis need? It needs you. So it's not allowing you to do the thing that you're here to do in the world, right? So getting into the body can be really difficult because of these patterns that we're used to that are designed to keep us that way. And part of it is also being socialized to not really like ourselves very much. Everybody has something they've been taught is terrible about them. And so what we're here to do every day is to be like, knock it off, you know? So one of the things one of the things that I've been working on is I definitely engage in a lot of like negative speech. And so I try to change the speech so that I am positive towards myself. And at this point in my life, when I see myself as a little animal that I love, it's a lot easier. And hopefully one of these days, I'll be able to humanize that animal and I can just love myself for who I am. I'm actually there already, but it did take me channeling the different animals that I really enjoy to be able to get into my body and talk to myself nicely. Okay, so one of the things is, let's do our face. Oh, to be held like you are the beloved. I hope everyone has had some experience of being held, like their face being held like this. So I encourage you to find like a ledge so that it's easier for you to hold your face. But just like really just lean into the palms. And we're going to take a couple deep belly breaths. We're taught also to hold in our bellies to look cute. But if you think about all the animals in the world, they're cute just the way they are. So I wouldn't worry so much about that no more. We can just breathe directly into our bellies. And I have a sneaking suspicion they want all of our air trapped up in the chest and not in our belly. Because guess when you put breath in your belly, what it does? It helps your diaphragm relax. And that's why I'm a loud kid. And you can be a loud kid too. So just breathe into your belly and enjoy this beautiful your own hands on your face that you're leaning into that remind you of a certain someone special who held your face like you're the best thing in the world, because you are. And they didn't expect nothing from you. And you knew it. There's no expectations. It might have been surprising to you that someone could love you so much and not expect nothing. And that's what we're channeling right now. Yeah. Nice. How are you feeling? I don't know. I am feeling very, very nice right now. So that's a little bit of an exercise of just even relaxing your face without doing any of the face massage stuff that I sometimes demonstrate in some of these videos, right? Okay, so there's not too much time today, but I wanted to show you a movement from yesterday, and it's from Kalari Baitu, which is a South Asian martial art. Now, one thing people don't realize is Buddha was a king, and Buddha was a king that walked away, and he walked away from the crown because what he saw outside his palace grounds haunted him and continued to haunt him, because he realized that all of his wealth comes from the suffering of all the people outside the palace gates. And he said no. And that's really how easy this whole thing is. We need to help our leaders say no, because we know that they're incapable of doing it themselves. And therefore, we need to organize so we're out there so that our no is louder than whatever the hell they're doing to be terrorizing people around the world. Right? Just say no. But leaving the empire takes work. It is not easy to just be a king and leave. It was not easy for him, because when he said he wanted to say no, his own people gave him two choices: to get executed the next day or to go get banished to the forest for 14 years. I don't remember the exact number, but I think there was definitely a threat of execution, and these people were pretty serious. The banishment might be like, oh, forest, I love hiking. But back in the day, going into the forest when you are a king is probably not, it's basically a death sentence. But part of that is because there's an ideology, just like we think about indigenous people as living in the forest and being completely foolish, that there's nothing in the forest except monsters. But that's where Buddha learned a lot, because there are indigenous people who are in the forest and they were his teachers. But also, it is a dangerous thing because, you know, you're a king and you have walked away. So the reason why I'm saying this is not only was he a threat to other people, other kings, but he was not probably very welcome potentially in a forest, right? That's why it's dangerous for kings to just go to the forest. And that's why martial art training is really important, because all of his monks were martial artists. So they were able to give their message, and there was probably quite a bit of threat, but they were able to give their message anyways, because they knew how to take care of themselves in community. So this is Gallery Baitu, which is an indigenous South Asian martial arts. It is so old that that monks from China came and learned from Gallery practitioners and traditional practitioners and took it back. And that's what we know as Kung Fu. And this is all recorded history. So I'm going to show you the Gallery bird, because Gallery was developed by watching animals in defense. So we're going to learn the bird today. All right, so I'm going to kind of show a couple things. First, stance. So in martial arts, there's nothing that you take for granted, even the way you're standing. A martial arts artist standing is really different from a person who's not trained in martial arts standing, right? So let's say you go to like yoga class and they say feet together. Most people would put their toes together and heels together, right? But then let's say that a particular force comes at your waist and you're gonna go all over the place. Yeah? I'm gonna have a particular force come down behind me and I go all over the place. However, if you take your toes together and your heels slightly apart as how you interpret feet together, then if you have a particular force coming from anywhere, you're going nowhere. And that's the first point of martial arts, is stand like you're holding your ground, because you're holding your ground, right? If I'm here and you're coming at me, I can just stand here. I don't look very aggressive, but I'm also not going anywhere. And that's the kind of martial energy that people need to be able to have and access and feel good about. So we're going to now graduate to the bird. So usually the bird requires a little bit of space between the legs so that your body can go through, and you will see why I'm saying this. So this is stance 1, toes together, heels slightly apart. We want to be in stance 2, which is hip width distance apart. And you can use your own body to do hip width distance apart. So here we are. Toes together, heels slightly apart, big belly breath. Shoulders rolled back, so the shoulder blades are flat against the back. Nice. Maybe tuck in your butt just a little bit, chin about an inch back. That's vertical alignment. Nice. So hip width distance apart is when you pivot at your heels 45 degrees, so your toes are 45 degrees. You get onto your toes, and then you pivot your heels again so that when you drop the heels, if you were to slide equidistant, the toes would be together and the heels are slightly apart. So here I am, I have a little bit of space, use my own body. Now I'm going to show you from the side the bird. Okay, so here we are. We're going to take the right hand and put it over the left elbow, and we're going to put the left hand and put it under the right elbow. And shoulders are rolled back, elbows float up at shoulder level length. We're going to take a nice big belly breath. We are in hip width distance apart movement, but we're going to take a couple big belly breaths. One more time. Okay, we're gonna lean to the left, which allows our right heel to come up. We're gonna lift up that right heel. We're going to make a flex point. So we're gonna flex our feet. We're gonna drop the heel down, keeping the toes up. Okay, this is gonna have this moving forward effect. It's gonna drive your body forward. So as it drives your body forward, we're gonna take the belly button and have it lead the body down. Nice. Now, advanced practitioners, or people a little bit more flexible than me, can take their elbows and touch the feet. You can see I'm a long way off, and that's okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let the toes drop, okay? And as the toes drop, then the right knee comes forward and the heel of the left foot comes up, and we're just going to, the upper part of the body hasn't changed, but the body is meeting the elbow, so you're going to just like allow the forearms to come up the chest as your hip comes forward. Big belly breath, opening up the arms like a bird. Nice. And then we're going to switch the arms, so the right arm is under the right elbow, left arm is on top of the left elbow, the left leg is about to lift up, and we're going to drop it just like we did the right, and that's the bird. So I'm gonna do that one more time, and walking towards you. So I'm going to start with the left foot because we just did the right foot. Left hand over the right elbow, right arm, hand under the left elbow, putting all the weight, well, hip width distance apart, putting all the weight on the right foot. Big belly breath, lifting up the left foot, heel coming forward, toes up. We're going to drop the heel, that drives the body forward. We're going to have the belly button move. We're going to make sure that the foot that is behind, that we left behind, doesn't change position. A lot of times there's a slight shift, but we're trying to keep the position. So now we drop the feet of the left foot. We are bringing up the heel of the right foot. We're driving the hip forward. That allows the body to go back. Keeping the arms together here. Gently opening up the arms. And switching arms here. Continuing lift. Drop the foot. Drop the belly. Drop the toes. Lift up the left heel. Drive the hip forward. Let the arms come up your body all the way back. Opening up the arms, big belly breath. All the weight on the right foot. Flipping the arms. So then you can lift your left leg. I have no space over here. Dropping the belly, nice. Driving the hip forward, allowing the body to go back. Opening up the arms, shifting the weight. Nice. Oh, honeybee. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, so that is the end of today's practice. Usually I dance a little bit more, but as you can tell from my face, I'm exhausted. So I'm going to try again tomorrow. And thank you for joining me, and I hope you get good rest and centering. Good night.